Movie camera hook, read in emotional tone. He was a billionaire, used to deals worth millions, not midnight phone calls from strangers. But when his phone rang at 1 a.m., and a trembling voice whispered, "Please, come fast," he didn't know that night would change his entire life. If you're watching this, stay till the end, because what he found that night wasn't just a broken woman, it was the family he didn't know he needed. And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because sometimes, love comes from the most unexpected call. It was 1:03 a.m. Ethan Ward, the youngest billionaire in New York, sat alone in his glass mansion overlooking the city lights. Success surrounded him, but silence haunted him more than the noise ever could. He had built empires, conquered industries, yet inside, everything was empty. No laughter, no warmth, just the hum of air conditioning and a half-finished glass of scotch. His phone buzzed suddenly, an unknown number. Normally, he'd ignore it. But something in him, maybe loneliness or curiosity, made him swipe, answer. "Hello." His deep voice cut through the quiet. There was only a breath on the other end, shaky, trembling. Then a woman whispered, I didn't know who else to call. "Please, she's burning up, my daughter's not waking up." Ethan froze. "I think you've got the wrong number," he said gently, but something in her voice stopped him. She wasn't lying. She wasn't acting. She was terrified. "Please, she's only 4, I don't have anyone else. Please, help me," she cried. The line went silent, and in that silence, his heart clenched. Against all logic, against every instinct, Ethan grabbed his car keys. 30 minutes later, his black Bentley stopped in front of a small, run-down house on the outskirts of the city. The lights flickered weakly. He knocked, uncertain. The door creaked open, and there she was. A woman in her late 20s, hair messy, eyes red from crying, holding a little girl burning with fever. Her name was Grace. And the little one, Lucy, barely breathing. Ethan didn't say a word. He scooped the child into his arms and rushed her into his car. At the hospital, he barked orders like he owned the place, which, ironically, he did. Get drive. Raymond now. Full pediatric emergency prep. No delays. Grace stood behind him, trembling. I thought I dialed the community nurse," she stammered. "I didn't know." "It doesn't matter," Ethan said firmly. "You called. I came." Hours later, Lucy was safe. The fever broke. The doctor smiled. She just needed urgent attention. She'll be fine by morning. Grace's knees gave way. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Thank you, I don't even know your name." "Ethan," he replied quietly. "Ethan Ward." Her eyes widened. "The Ethan Ward." He nodded slightly, almost embarrassed. "The one who got the wrong call." That night, Ethan stayed in the waiting room. He couldn't leave. Maybe it was the way Grace held her daughter, whispering prayers. Or maybe it was because, for the first time in years, he felt something real. When Lucy woke up, she smiled weakly at him and said, "You're my hero." Ethan laughed softly, something he hadn't done in months. Grace thanked him again and again, apologizing for the mistake. But Ethan shook his head. It wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was exactly what was supposed to happen. In the days that followed, Ethan found reasons, excuses, to visit. He brought flowers for Grace, toys for Lucy, and groceries for their small home. At first, Grace resisted. "You've done enough already," she said. But Ethan didn't come as a billionaire. He came as a man who wanted to help. He fixed her broken heater, repaired her porch, and slowly became part of their world. Lucy adored him. Grace tried to keep her distance, afraid of losing something she didn't even have yet, but every time Ethan looked at her with those soft, tired eyes, she felt her walls crumble. One evening, as snow began to fall, Ethan found Grace outside, sitting on the porch. "You should be inside," he said, draping his coat over her shoulders. Grace smiled faintly. "You shouldn't keep coming here. People like you, and people like me, we live in different worlds." Ethan looked at her. "I used to think that. But now I'm starting to realize, your world feels more like home than mine ever did." Tears welled in her eyes. "Why are you doing this, Ethan?" He hesitated. "Because for the first time, I don't feel alone anymore." Weeks turned into months. Lucy began calling him, Uncle Ethan. Grace found a job, in one of Ethan's companies, though she didn't know he had arranged it quietly. Every night, he'd stop by just to read Lucy a story. But one night, Ethan didn't come. He was trapped in a board meeting, the kind that usually lasted hours. Halfway through, he couldn't focus. He excused himself, got in his car, and drove straight to Grace's house. When he arrived, she was waiting at the door, worried. "You're late," she whispered. "Got held up," he said, catching his breath. She stepped closer, eyes soft, voice trembling. "Ethan." He waited. She whispered, "Stay." That one word broke every barrier between them. He stayed. Not just for the night, but for good. A year later, Ethan Ward, the man the world once called heartless, was sitting in a small living room, surrounded by laughter, crayons, and a little girl in his lap. Grace poured hot cocoa and smiled. He looked at them, his family, and realized that the wrong call at 1 a.m. had been the best call of his life. Clapperboard closing narration, emotional tone. Sometimes life doesn't send you what you planned for, it sends you what you need. A wrong number, a stranger's voice, a single word, can change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories that remind us, love doesn't always arrive when we expect it. Sometimes, it calls at 1 a.m. Hard.